first of all, I want to really actually enjoyed this conference a lot. I've been working in crowdsourcing and crowdfunding for the last 3 years, and I haven't really ever gone to an event and met people also like-minded in the crowdsourcing sector. So it's quite exciting. I had already shared and found out a lot of ideas just by being this event. I'm already prepared for my Q1, Q2 action plan for the business in a way now too, from some of the amazing feedback I heard from businesses. To get started, I always like to use this case study. This is actually the bread and butter of why I got into crowdsourcing and what it meant to me. And it was this case study on, about Henry Ford in 1916. He did something very interesting. He ended up going to his shareholders and he asked them, I am not going to give you these $40 million in dividends this year. I'm going to give it to my customers and employees. And right when the shareholders heard this, they were shocked. And the Dodge brothers, who own 10% of Ford Motors, decided, we're going to sue you for this. And it was really interesting, even in court, when Henry was talking to the judge, he says, not only is this ethical and good for society, for a business to run this way, by putting this money, I can reduce the cost of our car, so more people can afford our vehicle, the customers. Also, I can give this to the actual employees who now can finally afford our car. Every employee will have a Ford motor. And in the long run, what this will do is increase the stocks for the shareholders. And it was very interesting. He wanted to give back to the most important people in his company. And that was his customers and employees. And now we fast forward. 1950s, it was the CEO had a salary representing 10 employees. I'm sure you guys heard this before. And since then, it's increased up to 300, 400 employees. There's a concept of having a stake in the game. You know, back in the Roman Empire time, you had a 70% chance to die if you were emperor. You were fighting on the lines. And it's this idea that if you're running and leading a company, you also need to have a stake, a risk in the game, not be overpaid, not be overbloated. And this is what I also see stifles innovation. And another really important person is Peter Diamandis that also got me into crowdsourcing. And I know a lot of you here know that too. And he had an interesting quote when he talks about how experts don't always have that perpendicular thinking for innovation. I myself have sort of a love-hate relationship with experts. I know you need them because you can learn from mistakes. But at the same time, it's very difficult to get an outside perspective. Some of my best ideas I've heard from people is literally at a pub from someone not part of the industry, but who I have a conversation with, and they look from an outside perspective on everything. Some of the best ideas come this way, and really, Peter Diamandis really had this right. And that's what is actually really important that we have to realize with crowdsourcing, that we do need people outside of what we considered experts to give us that innovation. And as you see with companies, what they spend right now today. So 16% is normally the budget for research and development. Now, in order for crowdsourcing to actually really succeed and thrive, we need to economically reduce the costs for businesses. That is the only way. No one's going to really crowdsource unless you can actually reduce the budget. That's how you get the businesses involved. And we're already seeing signs that R&D is actually effective. It is working in a private way. You have a lot of consultancy that use the crowd, help filter the crowdsourcing information, and this is, but normally private, right? More invitation only for experts. And this is also also an issue too. Even marketing. You need to find a way to reduce costs with marketing. One of the most fascinating things about even the crypto scene is marketing is now becoming more crowdsourced than ever. In fact, you might have heard in the past, Google, Facebook, even Twitter banned ads. What this actually generated was a new market. All of a sudden, people in the crypto market go, we need to find another way to market to people. So why not use the crowd to market for us? And there's a word called a bounty. Companies are giving 5% of their assets to give it to people to do word-of-mouth marketing. This is currently going on. There's already your crowdsourcing market. You're skipping the middleman process of what normally goes to ads. And there's another concept, and what's being worked on right now and being utilized is this airdrop. It's called an airdrop. Everything on the blockchain, every person's wallet that owns coins is public. You don't see the name, but you see what's in their wallet. And so in fact, you have, you can actually investigate, look at if these tokens that they hold are competitors, or these wallets that are high trading. You can actually identify segments of these wallets and you airdrop your token. What happens is people are actually looking at their wallet and go, hey, what's this token? I'm going to check it out. And you can send this to 10,000 people. So now there's all these different aspects. It's very disruptive. They're figuring out, in this sector, we're figuring out new ways to market that is bypassing the traditional ad model, which has really huge potential. Now, one of the main things that's a problem with crowdsourcing, and what I've seen as well, is this whole transparency aspect. The crowd is ready. Users are right now ready to actually want to participate and be part of the business. But on the business side, they're really lacking transparency. They're worried about PR. And so of like what could actually happen if they try to get people involved where it's open. And this is really the traditional aspect of what's going on. And another thing I've noticed when I've talked to different businesses is when you ask them, you can ask anything you want to the crowd to help you. What would it be? And they actually don't know what to say. So there's also an aspect that we need to coach. We've heard some of these presentations talking about what is the right questions. And that is actually another big issue with crowdsourcing. Also another traditional thing. Every startup, when they're trying to go to find a VC, they come with their business plan. That business plan is for stakeholders they need investments for. In the traditional sense, you're not putting this online, showing the public. This is secretive for you. And this is what has always been going down. And when you do get that investment, you could have up to 10 stakeholders part of your company. And this is who you go to get advice, right? Your stakeholders. But this is actually now completely changing in the crypto scene. What's actually going on now for you to be accepted into the community, to be part of this industry? You have to show your 50-page, 5-year business plan, not to stakeholders, but to the public. It has to be represented there on your landing page. So that means you just opened up the doors to allow thousands of people to be able to analyze and actually talk to you about what you're doing. And a lot of companies have changed very fast, what we call white paper, changed really fast to version 2, version 3, version 4, just from feedback from the community alone, because they put it out there for them. And you hear a lot of the issues with ICO scams and everything. Well, this is why it's all changing. The community now is demanding that you need to be a real company, real people, and actually talk to us. Even myself, 20 minutes a day, I'm speaking as CEO to my community of 3,000 people on Telegram. It's what you have to do in the industry. So transparency is now here. And this is how I see crowdsourcing finally having a chance. Because businesses, in a way, in this community got already forced to be transparent. And that's very fascinating. That is the chance right there. We look at micro transactions. One thing you got to think, one of the underlining part of blockchain is it's just like me handing you cash. We're digitalizing cash. I can hand you a dollar bill, and you take that dollar bill. That was just you and me. no middleman was involved in this. And that is really the underlying technology that is actually really disruptive. I think a lot of people forget with their thinking of all these scams that they realize this is digitalizing currency peer-to-peer. No more, if you think about it, like use cases can be if you're living in Africa and you have family members working in England and they have to send money for their family to survive in Africa. Western Union takes a 10% cut from these people. And now there's technology they could use Bitcoin to directly go peer-to-peer with their family. And the actual costs of exchanging it back into fiat of currencies is very minimal compared to what businesses are being charged by getting money, 4%, many third-party players. So you got to realize how disruptive this is. And why this is effective for crowdsourcing is because there's 2 billion people on the planet that can't access banks. If you're crowdsourcing, you can basically be from anywhere in the world. You can put your knowledge down about a business, help a business, and if you're monetized and you earn money from that, you can actually receive a transaction of currency, especially in the crypto space. And this is why you can monetize it. You can be from Bangladesh, anywhere in the world, and you have access to earn money through your input. And that's what's really exciting of how this industry is coming along in the crypto sector. Also, what I was saying back earlier, companies are literally offering, like on average, 5% of their company's asset to the public. That's currently going on. It's kind of odd to think that why would a company, give them? But what it's doing is these people are putting time to help out these businesses. They want to see these businesses succeed. And it goes back to what I was saying about Henry Ford. Henry Ford could have started a new type of way we did business back then. It could have changed the landscape we see today. And actually, I see this coming back from that ideology right now back into the crypto sector. Vitaly Buterin, who is the founder of Ethereum, he invented something amazing. It was called the smart contract. You're able to create your own asset idea. You want to create an equity of your company? You can create a token. Do you want to code every 2-month dividend? You can code that in the smart contract. From the past, we used to go to a lawyer to type up a shareholders agreement, and we had to sign it, right? And you had to get the name, the address of the person that's going to receive the shares. Maybe they need a bill. This now can be all digitalized through programming on a smart contract. You can actually create any type of monetary policy for your asset. And that right alone is disruptive. There's so many things in the blockchain sector that is actually changing the game right now as we speak. And you can now basically give your assets to the public to have them work for you. And that is one thing is exciting. That's actually how you monetize crowdsourcing. And so I'll go a little bit about what I'm doing with crowdholding. And what we are is we are a crowdsourcing application. And what we're doing is we're connecting crypto businesses with crypto enthusiasts. Back in the day when I first started this project, and this was roughly 2 years ago, we were working on a concept of allowing businesses to offer revenue shares to the public. But we faced a lot of problems. People were, sorry about that, the businesses were nervous about, even startups, were nervous about giving their revenue because they believed maybe shareholders wouldn't invest them if they gave 1% of their revenue to the crowd. And so this was another issue we had. We had an issue of, like I was telling you, about transparency. We also had an issue of too many players, not enough users in the industry with expertise. And so that's why we went directly into the crypto space for the effort of monetizing global payments from anywhere, anyone, getting it so users get the reward right away. Users want to, when they receive and do something well, they want the reward to be in return. There's a waiting game when you use other currencies, but they get it right into their wallet. And so right now what we're doing is businesses are actually placing their token as a reward for users to fill out tasks. And we have a very similar approach to how Reddit voting system is, if you're familiar with that, and Quora as well. So the users on our application are actually voting up, filtering the best ideas for the users. So there's no middleman, no group for us trying to figure out, what's the ranking, how is these businesses going to go through all these ideas. No, we're allowing the crowd to do it. And we're also rewarding the crowd for their voting of it too. So it's a very different way. What we're doing is experimenting with this. And we're already seeing some very interesting results. We have some success cases with white paper analysis. We've had some businesses change their white paper, also change their landing page. And so it's a very effective approach. And so this is what we've been working on. And I'm really happy that I was here today. And looking forward to some questions. I'll be ready for them. Thank you.
Questions? Where did one question? Where did the idea come from? Did you have interest in cryptocurrency or blockchain before? Is that still 2.5 years ago? A little bit early to go in on this.
Well, the Henry Ford thing was a trigger a little bit, the concept of a sharing shareholder, right? But one of our main experiments was on Reddit. In the early days, even my co-founder back there, we were looking into doing a crowdfunding campaign for actually a tech-integrated backpack. And so we actually filled a survey out, posted on Reddit, and just said, hey, if you guys fill out the survey, give us your ideas, we'll give you a reward at the end. That's all we wrote. We had hundreds of submissions, people writing books of telling us what their ideal backpack was.
You didn't say what the reward was.
We didn't say what the reward was. But by the way, they weren't that happy with the reward. It was if we would make the product, we would give them a 10% discount. A slight trick, I know, but it was something for us to get direct feedback, and that triggered us to be like, whoa, there is a lot of potential for getting direct feedback through a reward system. And that's what sparked us to do this current crowdsourcing system we have.
Yes. Any other questions? So this is like a feedback system for businesses.
Yep.
And it is a system.
Exactly, yeah. So there's many different challenges you can do. We've had competitor analysis, so we've even had the users search about different competitors, potential competitors in the market for the business, and do a report. We've had them actually write articles about the business too, and post as a marketing promotion campaign. There's basically a lot of research and development tasks is what's going on. But we also have some interesting features. We're also diving into the bounty sector. So the users that are commenting and working on the application can actually earn by sharing it to their followers what they're doing with that business. So you click to share on Facebook about this article about that business, you're earning tokens automatically from that business. And we also implemented an airdrop system too, because you do need what businesses want to pay also to get promotion out there. So the feedback is great for them to make changes for their ideation, and that content is displayed for a lot of people to read and get interested in that business. But also you do need some tools that can actually outreach to more people too. So we're diving into those sectors as well.
All right, any other questions?
Yep.
Based on the Ethereum platform?
Yep.
So any Ethereum token?
Yep, so right now it's Ethereum and any Ethereum tokens, that's correct. We're looking into Q1, connecting to Bitcoin, because if you connect actually your APIs to Bitcoin, it's very similar to all the other blockchains. Everyone, just remember, Bitcoin was the first. So literally everyone just copied, pretty much almost copied Bitcoin. So Ethereum is very different though. They did, but it takes time. It takes like 3 months to even, with the right developers, to really like put a good effort and connect your APIs. So the infrastructure, there's still tools out there too that haven't been invented that is still needed in the industry. If anyone tells you that they have a completely decentralized application, they're lying. There's only really hybrid models out there. The tools haven't truly been invented. You know, you use Google browser, already there's problems there, because Google survey, their servers are a centralized location. I mean, you literally have to create script and images through a decentralized application by many people having the servers. Even maybe your server runs on your phone in the future. I don't know. The Silicon Valley, if you ever watch that show Silicon Valley, that's in arm's reach. That's actually something that people are working on. And that is underlying a bit of the underlying technology with blockchain.
So does your company primarily partner with people within the cryptocurrency blockchain industry, or with like businesses outside of the industry?
Are you asking, do we ever work with businesses outside of the industry, or? Well, the primary focus is just this segment that we're doing. We are doing those services. How we actually make money is through services right now. This application is just used for free right now with our businesses. But we have like 35 plus affiliates in our network. So we can help any business that is currently outside of the crypto and blockchain scene. We can help them integrate into the community and build a community there, and actually how to do everything. So that's currently how we're actually making our revenue while we're establishing our product. And very soon we're testing a subscription model too on our application. So the future is making sure we have a product that will be scalable, where we will be making revenue from that. But this is the current landscape, as you know, where the bubble pop happened. The crypto market did crash. Every day as we speak, someone's going out of business right now in the scene. So right now it's survival mode. Many companies are going, okay, we need to find revenue streams now. So it's going to be an interesting battle to see who's going to survive from this. I could be wrong. Maybe Ether goes crazy tomorrow. But my gut feeling says we're going to see this level right now for a while.
All right.
Yeah.
That's everything. Thank you, Ethan.
All right, thank you.